I am here. I'm here. Let me turn the volume down on my phone so that I can focus on you and saying hello to everyone. And I'm super excited to see that so many familiar faces are here with me today. Hello, Susan Palmer. It's great to see you. And hello, Jean. And Anna Grace is actually watching a replay of a prior week right now. And so I tagged her in the comments to see if she can pop over here and watch us live. And Janelle is here as well, which is totally awesome. And of course, Pauline Riley's here. And then many of you are here actually watching from my, from Anne LaFollette, from Anne's Art Club, which is awesome. And it's wonderful that I can actually now broadcast to so many different places at once, which actually makes it really, really easy for all of you guys to watch and join, right? So I want to say hello also to Zoe, who's here, and Janet is here, and Rita is here. It's wonderful to see you. I see that you guys are commenting actually inside Anne's Art Club, which is fantastic. And we're going to get started. It's Wednesday, right? It's Wednesday. And so it's Wednesday. It's summertime. And we've got Nisha who's here. And hello, Catherine. It's great to see you as well. I know you and I have actually been talking back and forth, and I think I need to answer you one more time. And Jen is here from my YouTube channel, which is awesome. And then I want to say hi to Patricia and also to Sue Ellen. So hopefully one of the things that's helpful for all of you is that I'm sending out a reminder on Wednesday mornings. I realized that it might be actually helpful to just give you a friendly reminder that it's Wednesday. And at noon on Wednesdays, I'm always live here on my Facebook business page to be able to say hello to you and to tell you what it is that I'm thinking about this week. And this week's blog was a little bit different. So tell me in the comments, just give me a yes or a not yet. Did you read the blog yesterday? Thank you, Jean. I think the reminders are helpful for me too. And so one of the things, so first of all, let me just say hello to those of you who haven't met me before. So I am Anne LaFollette, and I am a surface pattern designer, an illustrator, and also an online educator. And for the last 5 years, I have been coming on live every Wednesday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, to chat with you about art, creativity, and my passion, which is surface design. And for those of you who know about surface design or don't know about surface design, as soon as you know what that term means, you will see repeating patterns everywhere. So a surface design is any design or illustration that goes on any surface, meaning the rug, your rugs, the pillows that have a illustration or a pattern on them, your duvet cover, your tea towels, your iPhone case, your blouses, your quilts. I have a quilt behind me. New fabric that I just had delivered. I'm so excited. Let me grab it. These are just my samples. So whenever I have new designs that I want to have made into shirts or to sell, I want to make sure that I see them first. And so I got a sample of one of my beautiful patterns, which is called, kind of inspired by Van Cleef jewelry. And then I also have a beautiful chinoiserie pattern. And I talked yesterday, I think, or last week, about what is a chinoiserie pattern. So chinoiserie is anything that's inspired by Asia. And so that one I think is going to be really, really pretty. I cannot wait. I'm going to put it on a blouse. And then I made one that is also looks really like just pebbles. Sometimes we get in our head about how we think that something that we're making for a product, to put on a product, has to be really complicated. And it doesn't have to be complicated, right? So this is going to be so pretty. I am so excited to wear this as a blouse when I get all of the fabric made. This is just a little sample. So I'm so excited about it. It's going to be so much fun. And of course, I teach surface design, and almost all of you who are here today know that and take my programs. And so one of the really, really great things is that and just pebbles, right? Something as simple as just pebbles or organic shapes of some sort. So anyway, that's a little bit of an introduction. I come on Wednesday. I call it my weekly Wednesday Live, and I talk about art, creativity, and surface design. And so this past week, or yesterday, I talked in my blog, which I do every single week. And if you're on my email list, you get my blog. It's at FOLLETTE.com, which is my website. And the blog this week was all about this movie that my husband and I went to. It's Wes Anderson's Asteroid City. And one of the things that I'm going to share my screen just so you guys can make sure you know how to find it if you didn't end up reading it. It's my blog. This is actually my website. Right, this is my website. You come to my website, AnnaLaFolletteArt.com, which of course is the .com website URL. And right now we're on Anna LaFollette Art inside Facebook, which is my business page. And all you need to do is you can scroll down and you can read all kinds of fabulous Academy student stories. You can also see where I have my free downloadable guides. I've got one on craft fairs. Oops, I think that's in the wrong place. No, Craft a Career You Love. This is my surface design ebook. This is the craft fair guide. And then also I've got some art supplies, which is super fun. And then if you go back up to the top, just click on blog, and you can see that I've been, the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about creating your portfolio. Super excited. I know many of you are actually in this program with me, and I'm teaching you how to create your really stunning portfolio so that you can get your artwork out into the world. And then this week, yesterday, I talked about Wes Anderson's Asteroid City. And you may have noticed, I'm going to come back on camera. Many of you might have noticed that I had some typos in there. So I kept typing Android, like the phone, instead of asteroid. And so you guys are all awesome, because when you notice that I've done something where, oops, there's a little typo, you email me and you say, oops, there's a little typo. So I was able to fix the title to say, no, it's not Android City, which is a phone. It's Asteroid City, which is the name of the Wes Anderson movie. So just goes to show you that nobody's perfect, but it's really, really, really helpful when you give me a heads up about it, because I'm usually doing, my blog and I'm tired or whatever, and so sometimes I forget to proofread it. And even when you proofread your own work, do you think sometimes when you proofread your own work, you don't notice the mistakes because you wrote it, you've seen it so much, you just can't see them? So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. So the reason that I wanted to talk about Android City, even if you haven't seen it yet, is one of the topics that comes up a lot as surface designers or creatives is, do we have a signature style? Or what is a signature style? And why do I need a signature style? Or please help me understand what that is. And so I thought it would be kind of fun to take a little bit of a different angle about it, not so much around surface design and artwork, or the type of artwork that you and I are all doing in surface design, but to actually take a little bit of a different angle about it to think about, well, what is a signature style of a movie director that we like? So I had this wonderful conversation with my family, with my husband and my son, because we were talking about, so who are directors, movie directors, who have an absolutely recognizable style? And when you think about their style, is it their narrative style, or is it the cinematography, or is it the music that they always pick? So tell me in the comments if you're a movie lover like me, who else comes to mind, either a movie or if you remember the director's name, what comes to mind that is like, oh my gosh, every time I watch one of fill in the blanks movies, I always know that I'm going to recognize something about it because it's part of his, quote, signature style. So I'll get started and you can, so John Huston. Perfect. So tell me, what about it? So this is the the follow-up question is, if John Huston, Laura Bright, I see your comment about John Huston. What is distinctive about it? Tell me what you think is really, really distinctive. Oh, also great, Alfred Hitchcock. Right? Alfred Hitchcock. So what is also, Laura, that's fantastic. And then Judy is throwing in Steven Spielberg. And so what's distinctive about it? What are either some vocabulary words, or what part of their movie genre is really recognizable? So John Huston has very low horizons, right? Very low horizons. Great, Laura, that's awesome. That's a really, really great observation. And so when you think about it, it can sometimes be quite interesting to think about the topic through somebody else's lens, or through the lens of a different type of creativity, so that you can, right, so that you can then figure out, okay, then I can actually give myself a lot of grace, because there are parts of what I create that are very distinctive to me. And maybe that is like Wes Anderson, his color palettes, the color palettes that he picks for his movies, or the stage management of his movies. And so I think those are awesome. So so Alfred Hitchcock, that could be black and white, that could be the fact they're always kind of suspenseful and scary. Right? And so anyway, I love this conversation. I think it's a really great way for us to think about, well, what's a signature style? And so Nisha, lovely. This is a great one. So Nisha is saying Spike Lee, the camera view when people are walking. Yeah, very distinctive, right? Very distinctive, very much part of his signature style. Love it. And then Janelle says Woody Allen, social commentary, family city. Yep, usually a lot of talking, right? A lot of talking. So that's another really, really great one. And hello, Rohio. It's great to see you. You just popped on as well, which is awesome. So in any event, I just thought that it would be fun to talk a little bit about it. So in the blog, I talked about the color palette, that the color palette that Wes Anderson uses, the color palettes in his movies are almost another character. They're so distinctive. And in Asteroid City, he's using all these pastel colors, but they're pastel colors that are very flat. They're very, very flat. So when you look at it, you feel like it's almost like a backdrop, and then the characters are in front of the backdrop. It doesn't actually look like it's real. And I found that absolutely fascinating. And then I also thought that it was interesting that he did insert some black and white sections, some sections where people are actually acting on a stage, on a black and white stage, or telling part of the story on a black and white stage. And that was a very helpful kind of palette cleanser to break up kind of the flat pastel color that was primarily used in the film. And then when you go back from the black and white to the pastels again, you notice even more things. And one of the things that my son really noticed, and he's an architect, was he noticed the light and the darkness used, like the shading, and which is we might have to go see the movie again, because of course it's so rich that we missed a lot the first time through. And sometimes it's not really even about the story of the movie. It's about, wow, this movie is amazing. And sometimes this occurs to me when I'm watching either the credits or the beginning. So do you have any memories of movies where the beginning credits or the ending credits were so distinctive? So some of the Harry Potter movies have really distinctive end credits. One of them is, and I don't remember which movie this is, but it's the one where they get the secret map and they can see their footsteps on the map. And so they kept as they were rolling the end credits, they periodically would show people walking on the map. It was really, really interesting. And then there are also many others. And yep, Francis Ford Coppola, Pauline says, darkness and no action, and then lots of action. Yep, I love that. And Lord of the Rings is another great example. Zoe. So Zoe, I see your comment about Lord of the Rings. Yep, Lord of the Rings definitely has a very distinctive kind of look and feel to it. So I thought that that would just be helpful as a different way to think about creating your signature style. Part of it could be colors, right? In Wes's case, it's the pastel hues. Sometimes it can be more about like the quirky narrative. You know, he's also absolutely known for quirky narrative and also using a ton of I mean, every time you turn around, it's another movie star who's in his movie. I mean, he uses a lot of the same people in his movies a lot, and that's another part of kind of his signature style is he's always got Scarlett Johansson. He's always got, I'm going to forget all their names, but you know what I mean? It's like, okay, he always has the main character whose name I'm forgetting. And so in any event, it's always sort of interesting to see that he has kind of a cast, he has cast members. Edward Norton is the person I was thinking of. Edward Norton is always in his movies. And that's another part of his signature style. It's like he has his kind of tribe and he has them appear in all of his movies in one way or another. And so it's really, really interesting. And the James Bond movies, yeah. So the James Bond movies, that's another really great. Janet Coleman, that's another great example. Very, very distinctive. They use the same soundtrack all the time. And then of course they always have somebody super famous do the song. So I'm probably now like beating a dead horse, but that was what I wanted to talk about today. Is I just wanted to talk a little bit about, so what is a signature style and why do you need a signature style, and the reason that you want to develop one, and sometimes it takes years for it to develop, so you got to give yourself grace, and the more you actually do art, the faster it's going to appear. So one of the things that is so important to us as creatives is to take ourselves seriously and to have a daily habit, right? To have a daily creative practice that is a habit. It's a great habit. It's a creative habit. But it's very, very important to keep that going so that you can then see the evolution of your style. And it's not always going to be the same, but I wanted to also show you, I'm so excited about this in my membership, Anne's Atelier. For those of you who are already in it, you're going to freak out when I tell you this because I'm so excited about it. So I just interviewed Mel Armstrong yesterday. And let me share my screen with you. If you don't know who Mel Armstrong is, you are in for a real treat. So most of you, I'm sure, who are watching, or if you're watching the replay, you know who Mel Armstrong is. She is an artist and an illustrator and a surface pattern designer. And she lives in New Zealand. And I interviewed her yesterday. Oh, she does beautiful work. Look at her gorgeous, gorgeous work. And she has a very distinctive style. When you look at her artwork, this is her children's illustration, some of her children's illustrations. She does a lot of children's illustration, but you can also very quickly recognize her signature style because it is it's very distinctive in terms of sort of the size of motifs that she uses, the background textures that she adds, and she does tons of florals because of course florals are super popular, and so she is our guest spotlight inside my membership next month in July. So if any of you haven't joined my membership, you should absolutely reach out to me and say, okay, I want to join for the month of July, so you don't miss. You can jump into the portfolio series we're in the middle of because we're doing that all summer, but then you also can meet Mel Armstrong. And amazing. The interview yesterday was just spectacular. She's in New Zealand, so the time difference is crazy, but we were able to land a time when the two of us could talk, which was fantastic. I can't wait to give that to you guys next month. So La La Land is one that visually to me has such a wonderful style and color saturation. Yep, I love that. Back on the topic of signature style. That is a comment by Zoe. Thank you, Zoe. And so yeah, so it's super interesting, and you can kind of keep going. You can kind of keep going, and maybe the point, and then I'm going to let you go because I've already been talking for 20 minutes. The point is to just make sure that you realize how signature style shows up everywhere. It shows up everywhere. It can take time to develop. And Zoe, your style is absolutely recognizable. So I think that the fact that you are doing this craft fair, and tell us in the comments again, when is the craft fair that you're doing in the UK? I think the fact that you actually had to create a body of work for that craft fair helped you recognize your signature style and what your go-to art looks like. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And so hold on a second. So Zoe, do you have any of it on your website? No, so you don't have any of your new stuff on your website. So, or at least I don't see where it is. And you should totally add it when you're ready, right? You should totally add it. And so Donna Miller says, I love William Morris color and patterns. And yeah, and so he absolutely has a very recognizable style. It created an entire sort of deco, words were created around his style. And, right, it's an entire sort of stylistic, because a lot of people started copying him because it was so beautiful. And so they wanted to do their version of William Morris. And absolutely. Okay, cool. So you just ordered some stock. Excellent. August 13th is the first one. And so let me just go to Instagram. I just want everybody to see what Zoe's working on, because Zoe's work it's just like evolving at lightning speed. And one of the things that happens, I think that this is such an important, and you have to tell me in the comments, Zoe, if you agree, but it seems like when you have a goal, right? When you say, okay, I am going to step out and I am going to do a craft fair. I'm going to go to a craft fair. I'm going to meet people in person. And I absolutely am going to do a body of work that will allow me to have enough inventory to be able to sell at the art fair. And it really kind of galvanizes you to create a beautiful body of work. And then you see your style emerge. So here is Zoe Schofield's art. You should all follow her on Instagram. Can you guys see this now? So she's also doing the super cool Friday Feeling. And this is the one that really stood out to me as being so distinctive. You are creating a lot of art around your Weymouth Harbor, which I'm assuming is near you. And it's gorgeous. And it has this pointillism to them, but it's not, it's your version of pointillism. So it's very distinctive and different. And even here, when you're doing Bathed in Blooms, you've got those dots, right? You're incorporating some of the dots into the watercolor work that you're doing. And so can you see it? Can you see that it's like appearing? And listen, mushrooms are the thing. So I love the fact that you're also going to be offering some mushrooms, because mushrooms are an incredible trend right now. And then here are more Weymouth Bay. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And absolutely a signature style is emerging from them. So I want you to give yourself a huge hug. And we are sending you a huge hug for all of the amazing work that you're creating and how gorgeous it is, right? That cafe now wants to buy some of the cards. Exactly. And so when you put it out there, especially if you do art and highlight things that are in your local area, you know, it's just like Pauline Riley, who now sells her cards at the post office, right, Pauline Riley? And because you also do things that are very much Harden related, which is your town in Wales. And so I love the fact that the cafe wants to get some. That's so exciting. Hello, Deborah. It's okay that you're jumping in here late. No worries. So anyway, I cannot wait to hear about the fair, and we are all going to be sending you all of our support. I'm sorry I can't like beam up to be there with you, and it's just another really, really great example is that we have to get over our fear of putting our artwork out into the world. If you don't put it out in the world, no one's going to find it. And then the other thing too is that if you do actually create artwork that's around your geographic area, your small town, or the big city near you, people are going to find it and they're going to say, I want some of that. I want to sell that. That's gorgeous. People who come in here, tourists who are visiting, want to take something home. What better than to take home a piece of your art, whether it's on a greeting card or whether it's on a tea towel or whether it's on, it's an art print. So with that, I am going to let you go. I'll be back next Wednesday because come rain or shine, unless I'm on an airplane, I am here to talk about art, creativity, and surface design. And I hope this was helpful and kind of opened your eyes to a different way of thinking about a signature style. And I will see you next week. I always like to say in closing that I am Anne LaFollette, and it's never too late to create. Bye for now, and I'll see you next week.